Welcome back, everyone. This is Charlie Pankey, Sierra Right Now podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I hope wherever you're at, the Sierra is in your future or in your sights. Drive safely and hope you're having a very blessed day. Very excited about today. We're going to be going into some story time on off-roading. So if you love the town of Mammoth or the Eastern Sierra and like to get out and play in the dirt and get on some fun, exciting vehicles and some thrill riding, you're going to enjoy today's show. Our guest today is Rich Booher, if I said that right. Hopefully, I said that right. From Mammoth Outdoor Adventures or Off-Road Adventures. I'm going to say that right there. And we're going to be talking everything off-roading in Mammoth today. Should be a great show. Rich, thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good day.
Well, thanks for having me, Charlie. It's a great day in the Eastern Sierras.
Very good. Yeah, did you get up and do some bluebird snow turns today before you got on the show?
Well, the snow is waning quickly.
Is it?
As the Caltrans people say, we have black roads everywhere.
Yeah, we do. Unfortunately, that is true. We've had a little bit of a warm spell. This show will probably be in March here, but we're right at the end of February and we're a recording date, so we had a pretty big warm spell the Sierra had here. So maybe we'll have snow by the time this plays.
Very good. I think they've got another storm scheduled to come in maybe this weekend.
That would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. We need that March snow. So, Rich, you and I have not met before. This is kind of our first introduction, just so our guests know. So we're going to get to know each other a little bit. Jay, how long you been doing the outdoor adventures or the off-roading adventures in Mammoth?
Well, here in Mammoth, we've been here. This is our second season.
Great.
And the folks here in Mammoth welcomed us with open arms because they were looking for ways to get I guess we're calling them travelers now. The travelers come to town and want to get out and see the unseen Sierras. And so This is just a means for them to get out beyond the paved roads and see the wonders that the Sierras have to offer.
Absolute truth. Every time I go down there, I try to take a different dirt road just a little bit, just so I can see where it goes. Because that whole Mammoth area, there's so many different things to see, and it's real easy just to go to the lakes or go to the mountain because that's the convenient. But like on the whole east side of 395 is like untapped for me. There's so many things that I haven't actually got to visit yet. So
yes, you're absolutely right there, Charlie. There's 2,200 miles of roads and trails that are available.
Really?
So you're right. Just around every corner, there's something new and spectacular to see. That's a wonder for everybody.
2,200 miles. I had never heard that number before. That is amazing. You could spend a lifetime exploring Mammoth. Now I know why people don't leave when they get there. They don't go explore around.
Yes.
Very good. Now you said that you were welcome to Mammoth. Were you running an adventure program elsewhere before you moved to Mammoth, or was that this a?
I was working with local companies here, showing folks the outback of Mammoth, and taking these people and pointing them in the right directions. And they always had a question: well, how do we get there besides walking for 10 hours?
Yeah.
And so that begged the question of, gee, if we could get people closer, then they could get out on foot and go that last 100 yards and crest the horizon and see what no one else can.
And see some really truly unbelievable country, right? So I think I had the director of Mammoth Tourism on not too long ago. I think the new thing is called the Unreal, or the Unseen and Unreal. Is that how their new slogan is?
It is the real unreal.
The real Unreal. That's it. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible down there. So you guys run the Polaris RZR side by sides, correct? Is that what you're running?
That's right, Charlie. We are a Polaris outfitter. We're part of the Polaris Adventures outfitter network, a nationwide network. There's just about 250 of us operating these across the nation. And that brings a whole lot of expertise and quality to these adventures. people want to go out, they want to make sure that, first of all, they can get out there, but more importantly, they want to be able to find their way home. And with the technology that Polaris has installed in these units and the reliability, our customers are virtually assured of a worry-free adventure.
Absolutely. I got a ride at those up in Reno market not too long back with a group of friends I know up there, and took me out in the backcountry to see some wild horses and stuff up at in the canyons there. And they're a hoot to ride, man. They got a little bit of speed, a little gusto, but they're just a lot of fun to just be out in the out back and cruise on those dirt roads, right? So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Polaris has arranged these so that folks from beginners to the well seasoned can curate their own adventures if they want, or they can come and choose one that we already have installed on the technical screen in the dash.
the GPS type of system, right? So
Exactly, a GPS type system, global, and so they can sit at home in their comfort of their own home and pull it up on the computer and look at all the different trails, and much like they do in their own personal cars, put in a waypoint here, a place I want to go visit there, and then connect the dots and bring their thumb drive with them and plug it into the car, and away they go.
So they don't have to worry about the 2,100 miles and all the left turns and right turns. They can just follow the map. That's perfect. So,
Yes.
yeah. What's in you guys did it last year? What's the most popular destination people seem to want to get to in the off-roading area?
Well, we had two. One was we want to go to the top of the world and see everything from looking down on it. So that was our Bald Mountain trip. And at the top of Bald Mountain, which crests 10,000 feet, as you look to the north, you can see the Mono Lake sites and all that's surrounding that. And then as you turn to the south, you can see clear down the 395 corridor with Lake Crowley and the volcanic outcroppings there. And then the other most popular trip was anything having to do with water.
Yes, see, that's where I'd be at.
So everything from fording little creeks and streams to going to ponds to lakes, waterfalls. One of the most popular here in the area because of all the volcanic activity is the hot springs.
Yes.
So we have hot tubs, hot springs, hot creeks, and so folks can curate a trip where they go out and actually can dip a toe in the hot waters and experience that.
Very good. That's a pretty popular thing down in Mammoth. I know that I see lots of social media posts on the hot springs and the different environments out in the BLM land there, so that they can get to.
Yes, you're right.
Very good. Now, are you a long-term resident of Mammoth area? Have you been in that region for a while?
I've been here since 2007 on and off.
Okay.
And then several years ago, I moved up permanently and now enjoy a year-round residency here.
So you're making everybody jealous, Rich.
And coming from Southern California and the big city, it's just the folks up here are just wonderful and marvelous. They welcome you with open arms, and it has that small town feel to it. And oh my gosh, you pull off to the side of the road to check your map, and next thing you know, you have people pulling up alongside of you, checking on you. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. It's a great mountain town. It really has a lot of energy. I got to stop by there this summer and do a little paddle boarding on Lake Mary and enjoy the day. There was so many people, just so much energy running around. Everybody's on trail runs or hiking. They're all getting all kinds of stuff going on in the area. So,
yes,
as people are reaching out to you guys, I know that Mammoth has a new airline partnership coming into people flying right into Mammoth now. Either heading out. How long are the trips? Can you schedule them for 2 hours, 4 hours? What's the length of your off-roading trips?
That's a great question, Charlie. Um, we have trips anywhere from what we call a Sierra sampler, which is just an hour long. If you're not
Okay.
sure you're going to enjoy something like this, you can get in these. These are automatic transmission, four-wheel drive, like you said, with the GPS,
Yep.
stereo systems. For the folks that are a little apprehensive, they're brand new units, well maintained, and then we can track them from the headquarters to see where you are. And our trail master, Neil, has been in this area over 20 years, and he's been doing this probably 10 years. And he curates these rides so that you're usually within cell service. So if you have a
Nice.
question, you can always call us up and say, hey, do you know where I am? And we can look you up and say, oh, we know exactly where you are. Turn right or turn left. And
So
so
so these
2 hour
are
rides, 4 hour
yeah.
rides, day rides. We have folks that come up with the adventures and camping people
Hmm.
that rent out trailers to folks that don't have trailers, recreational. What, what do we call those? Those are
The RVs or the off-road trailers. I don't camping trailer. I think
yeah.
there's all kinds of names for them.
Yeah, yeah. So they can, rent those and then rent one of these to have at their campsite. And so, yeah, anywhere from a week long to an hour long.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you guys really do allow them to customize the experience every time they come to Mammoth then.
Yes. So we have items off a menu they can choose from, or if they choose their long-term Mammoth attendees and they know exactly where they want to go, they can just come in, grab the car, and take it and bring it back when they're done.
So that brings me a question. I think a lot of people kind of misunderstand that too. These tours are self-guided, really. They're not. You're not following like a horse-guided trip. You're usually following the guided horse, and these you guys literally give them the unit, give them the instructions, little instructions, and they can just go on their adventure. Correct?
Correct.
That's
Yes.
pretty incredible.
Yes. With the GPS system in the dash, uh, pretty much like your car, where you say, Siri, take me to the hospital, and it's
Yeah.
turn right here, stop here, turn left here, and another 200 feet, turn into the parking lot. And so our GPS systems are almost that quality. They drop breadcrumbs as you go, so if you want to
Hmm.
come back, you just push a button and it turns you around, and you just follow the red line.
Nice, nice. Well, yeah, since you're I'm gonna call you the master of mammoth and off roading here, just because you got the business there. What is like your personal favorite trip that you would tell a new person hasn't seen mammoth before, or maybe they've only skied in mammoth and now they want to get out. What's the go to trip that you would recommend for people to take?
Well, this year we've added a new trip, and
Okay.
it starts off with what we call the Wheeler Crest backbone. And
Oh
it
wow.
starts off and goes up to a 10,000, 11,000 foot uh, overview of the entire Eastern Sierra 395 Valley. And then
Wow.
when they come back down through the forests there, and then crossing 395, they wind their way around some uh, Department of Water and Power trails and across the Crowley Lake Dam into the eastern part of the county, and then go up along the backside of Crowley Lake. And they end up on the beaches of Crowley Lake, which takes them then to the Crowley Lake Columns,
Columns, yeah.
which which are almost like salt pillars. And
Yep.
depending on the level of the lake, you can drive right up to the columns, and sometimes there's even caves that you can back into and have a picnic. And it's just spectacular.
That's incredible.
It is it's awe inspiring, and you wonder as you drive down the highway, you can say, I can see that in the distance, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But with these programs, these cars, you get out there and you say, wow, this is the unseen Sierras. This
Mm-hmm.
is the real unreal.
The real unreal, absolutely. That sounds like an incredible trip. I've personally never visited the columns. I know they're back there. I'm actually heading down in April for opening weekend of fishing season this weekend. I have some guys that have invited me down, so I'm looking forward to not only fishing down at Crowley and Convict Lake for the weekend, but be able to go visit those hopefully with my camera. I haven't been there myself yet, so
Well, you stop on by and we'll put your we'll get your, what do we call it, a traveler on the trail. We'll make you a
I like
traveler on
that.
the trail.
I like that very much. You and I will talk after the call. That's something we need to do.
Yeah.
That trip right there. How long of a trip is that? If somebody was to come up from, we have a lot of listeners from the Los Angeles area come up to Mammoth, so it's a very popular route for us on 305. What are we talking about for trip length if they're planning their weekend out?
Our our most popular trips, Charlie, are about 4 hours long.
Okay.
Um, they when Neil curates this, he tries to have bathroom breaks on the way, so there's a way to relieve yourself there, and places to
Good stuff.
picnic. Their destination um,
Will this
trails,
Crowley?
so that
Will this?
you go
Oh,
out,
sorry.
yeah, you go out and have a picnic, and then come on back. And we're finding that most, these are family-oriented trails and trips, so that typically we find that the children they're done in about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you're getting bumped around enough. You're getting dirt and you're thirsty. So, is that Crowley that trip within the 4 hour window? Is that a? It seems like a long route, but again, I'm not on those roads, so I'm not sure exactly where I'm at. So,
It seems like a long route, but it goes by quickly because there's so
yeah,
much to see, and being new scenery. As people take it in, it seems like it's a much longer trip than it is.
hmm
Uh, People come back, they said, "Gosh, it seems like we've been out there for 2 days, but it's only
you
really
see so
been
much,
four
right?
hours." Yeah.
Well, I think one of my favorite, like when you stop at Crowley Lake, you look across the 395 at the peaks in Mammoth there. That they have that chocolate ridge right there. I call it chocolate ridge. I don't know what the name of the mountain really is, but it's got this chocolate striping to it. It's really just this beautiful, different color. 'Cause you're expecting the silver granite, and you've got this range. It's like I don't even know what that's volcanic or what that color is, but it's really a pretty picture to take from out there. So
Yes. We are sitting on the largest caldera in the world, and it's 10 miles wide, 20 miles long, and a caldera is basically it's a soft spot in the earth that has large amounts of volcanic activity below it. And so over geologic time, which is millions and millions of years, uh, it has produced all sorts of different types of rock outcroppings. And
hmm
then with the slip strike uh, uh, faults out there in the earth, it exposes these, much like you're saying, like a chocolate layer cake.
yeah.
Um, One of our trips is to Obsidian Dome, and Obsidian rock is it's a black marble type rock,
Oh wow.
and when you see an entire football field size uh, rock with this black obsidian, you're thinking, oh my gosh, what transpired underneath the earth
hmm
volcanically to make this happen? When you're out
I
on
didn't.
the hot creek and the water is bubbling and you can see the mud pots bubbling hot with
Yeah,
steam, you know that it's volcanic activity underneath there.
absolutely. I didn't know you guys had the. Again, Mammoth area. I've only done the lakes and the mountain there. The Obsidian that really is fascinating. I grew up in Central Oregon, up at Paulina Lake and Paulina Caldera, and there's a big Obsidian field that you can hike through up there too. It's really that's a really neat experience. If my listeners are if you're looking for something unique, go check that out because I've been in those fields before, and that Obsidian field is amazing to see that black glassy rock just laying out in just massive field. So My next trip down, I'll be putting that on my map. That sounds pretty cool.
All right. Yeah. Well, a lot of the folks come back and they've seen just a sliver of the Sierras. And on their next trip, we say, well, pick out a different compass heading and you can go see something totally different. There's an adventure for every day of the week. And we had folks that come back and they say, it's so shallow of an adventure that you can stick your toe in it and get wet and be very, very satisfied, yet it's so deep, and the depth and breadth of what's available out there to see is so voluminous that you could spend weeks out there and not see the same thing twice.
Absolutely, I agree. It's kind of why we do our show at Sierra, because there's so much for people to see, and just spread out and see something different every time you go out, right? So,
right, and then we tie the history of the area to these adventures. You mentioned Convict Lake, and there's an entire mysterious story there of the convicts back in 17.
Came from our home area in Carson City, right here. My home base is here in Minden. They came right through us down to your area.
That's right. Yeah, 1879 prison break, and convicts and wild shootouts. This area is known for the 1940s and 50s and 60s as many TV shows, movies have been filmed here. And you turn a corner and you go, this looks familiar.
Yep.
And then when you come back, we talk to people and say, well, do you remember that old Western movie of this and that and the horse guys and the stagecoach robbery? Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
ran right through.
That's exactly where that was filmed. Yeah.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. The whole Eastern Sierra has a plethora of that. If you really know your movie buffs to go out, it's really cool that you guys call that out to people on their adventures so they can look out for that. That's really kind of a neat experience. How big is your crew, Rich, that you guys run? You said you have the trail kind of czar there that's creating these things, but what kind of crew are you working with in Mammoth?
I'm sorry, ask that again.
Yeah, like how many people are on your crew in Mammoth?
Just about a half a dozen.
Okay.
Because we start early for some people that want to get out there and beat the heat, and then we have people that want to watch sunsets, and so we have to rotate the crew in and out. So somebody that might necessarily get you going in the morning and might not be there in the afternoon. So about a half dozen.
Do you drop these trailers off at different trailheads, or do all these trails leave from your facility?
They all lead from our facility. They're right in, right out. We are experimenting this coming season with some trailer options so that people want to go to some more, I'm going to say obscure, but distant trails because a lot of these aren't connected. And since we cannot ride these on the highway, we have to circumvent that by putting them on a trailer.
Correct me, are all your Polaris two-seaters, or do you have four-seaters as well?
We have four-seaters and two-seaters.
Okay.
The most popular is the four-seater.
The whole family can fit,
because of the family components. And they have stereo options. You can bring your cell phone and your playlist and put it in, couple it with the car, and pair it with the car. And I mean, this thing's smart enough to know that as the engine gets louder, the music in your stereo gets louder. Of course, when you're around campgrounds and others, we ask that you tone it down a little bit.
Enjoy nature a little bit. I assume there's a little bit of education for off-roading as well. Like I've always spoken to the Conservancy down in Kern River, and they have down there have a problem with people getting in the meadows and stuff and getting off the roads and trails and tearing things up. Do you guys do a little bit of education for proper use of the equipment, keeping the land clean and and taken care of?
Yes, Charlie, we do. Polaris Outfitters, Polaris Adventures is very adamant about safety, and so are we. So it's safety. We include helmets and we include goggles, and On warmer days, we include water for people. We even give a small lecture on being bear wise, what to do if you encounter a bear.
Very popular in your area.
And we have folks that come back and amaze us. Hey, we saw this entire family of deer walking across the road. We saw this wildlife. We saw that wildlife. And people say, well, you can't sneak up on them with the engine being on. But these folks do. They come back. Fishermen come back with the tales of, wow, we were able to get to spots that nobody's seen in years and fish these spots.
I'll bet you fishermen love your service. They can get to some great spots in the river, I'll bet. So,
right. And we have a video that we show folks on how to operate the vehicle and how to be safe with it. We are also members of Tread Lightly. Some of our upper echelon in the Adventures or Polaris Adventures actually helped start this Tread Lightly organization, which is a volunteer nonprofit organization throughout the United States that we go out and help maintain the trails. We pick up trash. We encourage our riders to help with the environment. If you see something, pick it up. If you see something that's unusual, take a picture of it, bring it back, and either we can go fix it or we can have the national parks or state parks or Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, go out and attend to it so that others are safe.
It's actually a really good point with our current political climate and everything that's going on with the federal lands too, how important it is for us when we're out there recreating to make sure we take care of those things for ourselves and not wait for somebody to come empty trash cans and take that stuff out, because we don't know what kind of service we're going to have out there for a while probably. So it's a good point there. So Rich, you wouldn't believe it, we're already coming up on a half hour of our show. We always try to be courteous of your time and our guest time. Is there anything from a standpoint of how people get a hold of you or information you want them to know about the 2025 season real quick that we can cover for you?
2025 season, we're starting early. We're going to be mid-May, getting folks out on the trails, weather depending, if we have a late snow. We are at... let's see, Mammoth Off-Road Adventures.com.
Perfect.
And or you can go to Polaris Adventures.com and look us up and see all the other Polaris Adventure outfitters throughout the United States.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're in Florida or New York or Texas, wherever you might be, and then Polaris Adventures also has a frequent flyer program where you can join the Polaris Adventures family, and the more you use, the better your pricing gets. And,
okay.
Get early bird specials and such, so become a part of the family. And so we encourage people to do that. And
I did not know that. I'll have to look that up myself. That'd be cool. So, well, hey, I tell you what, Rich, I have a real quick, I throw a note to my sponsors. I have 3 personal questions for Adventure I want to ask you. If you can hold on for just a second there. I want to shout out to the Carson Valley, our sponsor for all of our outdoor adventures here at the Carson Valley, our home base, wide open spaces. So if you can stick around for just a second, here's a quick clip from our sponsors. Oop, I got the wrong thing. There we go. Doesn't look unlike Mammoth at all. A little few more trees than Mammoth, but we have a lot of wide open spaces here too. So, Rich, we want to thank you so much for being on our show today. It's great to learn about you. I'll look forward to looking you up next time I'm down in the region. Here's my 3 questions. I always ask guests same 3 questions. They're all kind of personal adventure stuff. So let's assume your bag is packed behind you. You're ready to head out on a Sierra adventure vacation. You go out anywhere in the Sierra you want to go play in. Where would you be heading? Why?
I thought that I would always like to see if I could do a safari going north and see if I could end up in Bodie. My trail master Neil says yes, with uh, with enough determination and time, you can go clear around the backside of Mono Lake
Yep.
and end up in the ghost town of Bodie. And
Yes,
so that,
I actually know someone who did a motorcycle ride from Carson Valley down through Bodie all the way down past Mammoth and made it out across the I think Tonopah. And so there is a route. There is one that he's definitely done it on dirt bike. So I hope you find
yeah.
that. That's pretty cool.
Well, we have a saying here: if you can do it, it's not bragging.
It's not right. Yeah, that's true. I like that. I'm gonna write that one down. Very good. All right. Second question. I every day I go out for a big adventure, I'm always looking for a great meal. I love cheeseburgers and fries, milkshakes. After a big day of adventure at off roading in Mammoth area, what's the go to meal?
Well, the one I like the most is the one that's probably been in this area the longest. It's called Tom's Place.
Tom's Place. You got it.
And it is
Absolutely.
right on 395 at the bottom of Rock Creek Road.
Hmm.
And these folks have been making burgers and breakfasts that are just they're it's a mountain meal.
It's a mountain meal.
And
That's
it's a
Tom's Place.
mountain meal.
I like it. Tom's Place is a great location. If you're traveling 395, you see Tom's Mountain coming up out of Bishop there. Signs around the place at Tom's Place. Just pull over, find it. You won't regret it. So
Oh
definitely
yeah.
a good stop there. All right, and finally, we're all gearheads in some way, and we like to go out with our pieces of gear we never leave home without. I'm a map guy, for example. I love paper maps for everywhere I go. Do you have a piece of gear that's like your go-to piece of gear you never leave home without?
I would have to say my knife.
There you go. Pocket
As
knife, or it's
as
like a
as
pocket knife,
small
or
as it is,
okay.
when I moved from the city up to the mountains, everybody was carrying a some sort of knife, and I thought, oh, that's just being too macho. But on a daily basis here in the mountains, I'm surprised, but I'll probably take my little knife out and use it, once, twice a day.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great choice. And that my dad would be right with you there. He never leaves home without his little, you know, got Swiss
It's a
Leatherman knife,
pocket
whatever you want
knife,
to call
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a pocket knife. It has lots of things to do. So that is fantastic, Rich. That's our show. I want to make sure I thank our listeners wherever you're at today. I hope the Sierra's in your future. Drive safe. There should be snow in March coming. We got plenty of winter on the mountains still left, but we'll be on the back roads with people like Rich and Mammoth Off-Road Adventures here anytime soon. So make plans. Give Rich a call. It sounds like a great time in Mammoth. So, Rich, thank you for joining us today. Hope the day goes well for you there, in Mammoth.
Thank you. Bye,
Have it.
everybody.
All right.
Get out.